entertainment industry, her ongoing support of cancer research, and her advocacy for holistic health, I present to you, for the award of the degree Doctor of Letters honoris causa, Olivia Newton-John.
I hereby admit Olivia Newton-John to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Lovely.
Thank you so very much. What a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. I'm quite touched. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so delighted to be here. And I'd like to firstly thank the Trobe University, who I'm so delighted are working with my Cancer and Wellness Centre today, especially Professor Larkins, Professor Nugent, Professor Dewar, for making this possible. And a special thanks to my family and friends who have come from many places to be here today, and leaders and friends of the ONJ Centre, the Cancer Research Institute. Thank you so much for being here to support me, everybody. Thank you. And thank you, students, for allowing me to be a part of your graduation ceremony today. It's very special for me. I am very honoured to be here receiving my Honorary Doctorate of Letters. But to be honest, I feel a little bit embarrassed. For in my family, there are many doctors who, like you, worked extremely hard for years, studying and going without to earn their hat and gown, which I must say, I really like it. And I never dreamed I'd get a chance to wear one, so this is really fantastic. I've been thinking over these past few months, leading up to this day, help! How did this happen? Singing is easy, but talking is hard, and maybe I should sing it, but I don't know, maybe I couldn't do that. So anyway, here's a little of my family history, which you have alluded to some of it, but I have a big, wonderful family. My father, Professor Bryn Newton-John, was Master of Ormond College at 40 years old. He was the youngest master in Australian history. He was a professor of German literature, studied at Cambridge, and received a double major in modern languages. In World War II, he joined the Royal Air Force and became a wing commander, and because of his brilliance with language, he was recruited as a code breaker at Bletchley Park and interrogated prisoners of war. In fact, it was rumoured that he brought Rudolf Hess in and questioned him. And when we emigrated into Australia for his position at Ormond College, he also became a radio announcer, TV personality and actor. He had a beautiful Welsh singing voice and taught me the importance of a strong work ethic. My grandfather on my mother's side was Max Born, a German Jewish mathematician who was instrumental in the development of quantum mechanics and was the Nobel Prize winner in 1954 for the statistical interpretation of wave function. He was a close friend of Einstein, and my mother, Irena, translated a book of correspondence between these two magnificent scholars called, amazingly, the Born-Einstein Letters. Max Born was also a man of great compassion, and his humanitarian efforts helped Jews escape from Germany and the Nazi regime. He wrote many papers and books, and one of his most famous philosophical quotes that really touched me is, "The belief that there is only one truth and that oneself is in the possession of it is the root of all evil in the world." You can see how his words hold true for all of us, especially now, with all the dynamic changes in technology, science, and especially the healing arts. You are the next generation of practitioners, and I'm really excited for the potential you have to impact the course of healthcare in Australia and indeed the world. My uncle Gustav, my mother's younger brother, who sadly just passed away at 94, was also an incredibly brilliant scientist. Gustav Born was Emeritus Professor of Pharmacology at King's College, London, and Research Professor at the William Harvey Institute. As a young doctor, he was sent to Hiroshima right after the bombs were dropped and witnessed the painful deaths of those poor people dying from radiation. This awful experience of watching people bleeding to death affected his life in a profound way, and it became his life's work to study the mechanics through which the body stops bleeding and initiates clotting, platelet research, that resulted in many lives being saved all around the world. His daughter Georgina Born is Professor of Music and Anthropology at Cambridge University. My older brother Hugh is also a doctor. He attended Melbourne University at Ormond, where my father was master in the 50s. Hugh was an expert in the field of infectious diseases at Fairfield and was the inventor of the first portable iron lung that gave many polio patients the opportunity to be mobile. He was an extraordinary, my brother. My younger brother Toby is a doctor of pain medicine, and my sister Sarah, who I'm thrilled to say is here today, has a BA in English literature. And my nephew Jeremy, who is also here, has a doctorate in education philosophy. However, my older sister and I were the black sheep and went into show business. So you can imagine my parents' trepidation when I told them I wanted to drop out of high school to become a singer. So now you can understand why I'm feeling a little guilty that you've all worked so hard and sacrificed so much to get your degrees, when I just found out that if you wait till you're nearly 70, maybe they'll give you one. So I respectfully and gratefully accept this doctorate on behalf and in honour of my family. So despite being a dropout, I've had a pretty incredible life and career. Like you, my career started here in Melbourne. I won a talent contest at 15 on the Johnny O'Keefe show. You're too young to know that one, but it was called Sing, Sing, Sing. And I won a trip to the United Kingdom where I worked for several years, and then moved to America when my music career started taking off. You never know where the opportunities can come from, but I followed my passion. I was lucky enough to be in a couple of movie musicals that kind of changed the course of my life. The most important personal moment in my life was the birth of my daughter Chloe in 1986. In 1992, I had my first journey with breast cancer. I had a 6-year-old daughter and much to live for. I had surgery, a course of chemotherapy, plus as many healing adjunctive therapies as I could. Meditation, yoga, acupuncture, homeopathy, herbs. And after a year of treatment, I continued on with my musical life. And in 2003, I was invited to lend my name to a new cancer centre to be built on the Austin campus in Heidelberg. I kind of felt odd about having my name on a building. So I asked my mother, Irena, what she thought. And she said, "Darling, if you can help someone, you should do it." I agreed to lend my name if they included a wellness centre as part of the centre where people could enjoy the therapies that I'd been able to experience. Treat the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. This was a new concept for a public hospital, and I was so delighted when it was agreed on. Then came the task of raising the money to build it. I always knew and believed that we would succeed. I had the vision, the focus, and the commitment, and I never doubted the outcome. The first fundraiser was to walk on the China Wall in 2008, and we walked 250 kilometres with friends, celebrities, and cancer survivors. And now, 10 years later, it's a dream come true. We have a fully functioning, beautiful, state-of-the-art integrated cancer centre with clinical care, wellness, and research, all under one roof. I've always believed that things in life happen for a reason. And if I hadn't had breast cancer, I wouldn't have ever found my true passion for wellness. Breast cancer gave me a purpose, and this life experience opened my eyes, my heart, and my drive to see it through. For all the fortune and fame I've been lucky enough to experience, seeing my name on the hospital makes me really proud. Having wellness next to the word cancer, being there for those on the journey, is the best billboard ever. My dream is that in my lifetime, the sign will read ONJ Wellness and Research Centre, no cancer anymore. That's my dream. We will have won over it. There are lots of health challenges right now, and as you all may know, I have had a reoccurrence of my breast cancer, but I'm doing really well. I'm doing great, and I feel wonderful. And I'm focusing on the positive and using all my complementary protocols. I'm thriving. The world needs your skills and your gifts to help people. As you embark on your careers, allow yourself to find the space to discover your special passion. I am now very honored to be a Doctor of Letters. Letters make words. Words have power. Be conscious of your words. Be kind with your words. Be true to your word. And for all the doctors in my family and all the brilliance, my mother's words really inspired me the most. If you can help someone, darling, you should do it. So I leave you with those words, and don't stop believing. Thank you. We have a combined effort going on with breast cancer, which is, of course, very important to me. So it was very inspiring for me to see what they're doing today. And if we find the cure for breast cancer, if we find the cure for all the rare cancers that are happening, if we find out the importance of wellness and how important that is to our lives, that affects the whole world, not just Melbourne and not just, this area. So we can make a change in the world, and that's wonderful.